was gonna say good morning, everyone, but I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna. Welcome to Rhythm and Roads, everyone. I'm your host, Joshua Jacob. We have a very special guest. We have actress producer Asia Espinoza. Welcome, Asia, to Rhythm and Roads.
Thank you. Honored to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you on as well.
Thank
Yeah, so we do want to start by getting to know your story, and of course, I have my coffee, so I'm definitely ready for that.
you.
No, but yeah, it was a great time at Las Cruces International Film Festival. Definitely had a good time, and congrats to you and your brother for the 48-hour challenge. Like, whoa, like that's so cool, yeah. And
Thank you.
yeah,
He's not actually my brother, but he's like my best friend. We
oh,
just
is that
happen
your
to
brother? Oh,
know.
I'm gonna cut that out. Oh my God, I'm sorry, Pedro.
Okay. No. We have the same last name. He's my
I
best
know
friend.
that's also like,
We
oh,
roll with it. It's no big
okay,
deal.
okay, yes. Anyway, continue with. Do you want to share a little bit about just the 48 hour? How you guys felt about the experience, or just what you guys did?
Yeah, absolutely. I had to immediately after my day job run over to Las Cruces to go pick our categories, and I drew parody science fiction. And I'm telling you, I was so anxious because I was like, what are we going to do with this? But I ran back home, and my team was Pedro, Mariana, and Martin, and
Okay.
we we birthed Bumanji, which was the funniest thing in the entire world to me. And it didn't take long. We still got like full night's sleep both nights. Yeah, I know. I was not expecting to be able to do all of that. I think Pedro pulled most of the weight in the editing
Mm.
after the fact, so for sure.
So Pedro did the editing?
Yes, that was all him
Oh man.
completely.
Late nights on that, Starbucks, everything he could put, Red Bull.
See, I think he got up at like a really decent time
Oh, he
and
did?
did not spend too long on it. Maybe I mean like 6 hours, which is a very long time.
Yeah,
But
it
in
is.
comparison to the 48, yeah, super easy.
Very cool. Well, we'll get more into that later in the interview. But all right, Asia. Well, thank you for sharing briefly on that 48-hour challenge. That's pretty cool, really interesting. And here, I didn't even know Pedro was, you guys are best friends. I thought he was your
Yeah,
brother.
yeah.
I don't know. I got that. I think, I don't know. I thought
I
I
don't know
heard.
if I said anything about it, but I might have. We let people run with it. It's no big deal. He's the
Actually,
best.
I thought you guys, I was like, oh, cool. You're like, I mean, yes, last name.
Yeah, yeah,
Anyway, all right.
yeah.
So let's go to chapter one of your story of the journey of Asia. So there's a point in your life when you were growing up, and then you realized, I want to become an actress. I want to do that. So was it a certain film? Was there a certain friend or a family member, or just what was it that sparked that interest in you to want to pursue being an actress?
I've never really viewed myself as overly creative by any stretch of the imagination.
Okay.
I I've realized that maybe I was growing up, but I never really labeled myself as a creative or somebody who had the capacity to create anything.
Mm.
So I I was going through my licensing for my day job,
Okay.
and I was really overwhelmed by the prospect of not being able to do anything for myself.
Mm.
I felt like I was doing everything to, you know, make people happy or to get a paycheck, just keep a roof over my head.
Right.
And I think I was 23 when I was going through my licensing. And I was like, I have not done anything up until my 23 years, just like selfishly for myself.
Mm.
So I was like, well, what would kind of fill my cup? I feel like I'm pouring into other people. What would fill mine?
Right.
And I can't sing, can't dance. And I was like, well, let me go ahead and give acting a shot. I have never loved anything more than the concept of creativity. So in cooking and reading and writing, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Um, but I was scared I wasn't going to be able to excel at it. So I got my feet, like, dip my toe in. I did take lessons. I don't know if you've heard of that. It's like an online platform for like 25 bucks. You can do a class of anything, really. They can
Oh,
teach you
really?
how to sing and dance and whatever. And it's all virtual. And
Oh,
this was right after COVID. So
okay.
I was like, I could give this a shot. 25 bucks, met a really, really cool acting coach. Her name is Shannon McCoy.
Okay.
And she really built my confidence. And after that,
Oh,
yeah, we were just meeting like once a week. And yeah, that kind of how it started.
that's how it started, huh? Wow.
Yeah,
Okay. So was this during the pandemic or was it after the
like about a year after,
year
I
after?
think,
Okay.
maybe two.
So once you were with this acting coach and she was showing you, like, did you start you like you said, you built the confidence and then did you realize, wow, is this what I've been wanting to like what I've been missing out on all this time?
I
Like,
think it was one of those things where it was like, you never know until you try.
right.
And it kind of opened 100 billion doors for me
Oh,
because so many things that I hadn't tried.
right.
You know, it really opened my eyes to the concept of, you know, how are you how are you going to say you can't if you haven't tried?
Mm.
So I started going to auditions like in person. I
Oh,
remember my first one, I called her. I was in tears. I was so anxious. It was a cold reading and it was really low stakes. It was very
oh wow.
chill, but I was sobbing. So confidence still like actively working on.
Right.
But at the time, it was the first time I sat in my car for like 30 minutes before I even tried to get out.
Really? 30 minutes? Wow.
And then I was crying in front of everybody over there. So that's just
You
kind of
were? And guess what? You got the part, right?
yes, I did.
Wow. That's so cool. And that was your first attempt?
Yeah.
Oh, good for you, Asia. Look at
Thank
that.
you. I've been very, very lucky. I've met some incredible people and, who have kind of seen the
Mhm.
potential because I wouldn't go so far as to say, I'm anything special yet, but people have seen something special in me, and that has gotten me as far as I've gotten this, like, and I'm so grateful.
Wow. And that's very important that you have a strong team that supports you, your friends, family.
For
And
sure.
of course, they're not doing it just because they're friends and family. I mean, they see the potential in you. They see it. I mean, because
Yeah.
you want people to be real too. Like, I mean, you want honest opinions or truth.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that they see that in you and say, no, you do have something. Continue. So,
Honestly, that could make me cry right now.
hey, no, I mean, I'm really glad because I do want to say this, and I'm glad that you shared your journey on that up to this part is the fact that we have all gone through that. We've all gone through that point in our life where we really feel like there's something missing. There's something that I'm not living my life waking up to say, I have something to look forward to. You wake up and you're just like, God, I'm just in this cycle of just this empty part of me that I'm still longing to find the Asia, the Joshua, the certain person that I know I can be the best that I can be. And that's why it's sad because sometimes some people don't ever get to that. And it's sad because they don't know how to get to that. They don't have that support system. They don't know they don't know where to start. And sometimes they even let fear stop them. And that's the thing about Rhythm and Roads is we're here to be the light to say, please let the fear, do not let the fear stop you. Let it help you to see that, hey, I overcame something. And because with fear, I was able to challenge myself to build a confidence to handle that because you can never escape fear. But the thing is, you can always overcome it by over using that fear as a fuel to say, I'm going to push myself despite how I feel. You know what I mean? Because you can never escape fear. Fear is always going to be there, but it's how you manage it, how you use your mentality over that. And so for your story, I like the fact that as you're going through these stages and you're learning about yourself, trying different things, like you said, you were studying here, trying to pursue this career. But I've been to that point where you do have that bit of life calling you, those open doors, that kind of that nudge of like, well, I never thought about that, but let me try that because it's pulling me towards that. You know what I mean? And as you got to that point, and then you started to see the floodgates open, you're like, oh man, this was meant to be. And that's the things I mentioned this, and I'll stop after this, but sometimes when it's not planned, it's what's meant for you. So you weren't planning it. You weren't saying, "Hey, I want to become an actress and I've always wanted to do this." Right? You weren't. You were looking at other careers, all that. But then look how it just landed in front of you without you really planning it majority of your life. And now you know
Yeah,
it was meant for you. So
for sure.
little Dr. Phil there. See? Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, stop. This is crazy. Oh. No, guys, I'm being serious. It's all good stuff. So really good stuff of what you're sharing, Asia, on that, and I hope a lot of viewers can be inspired by it and pursue something because life's short and you don't have all the time in the world, so just
Try
do
it.
it. Just try it and do it. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of felt like if I didn't, I mean, not to be overly dramatic, but it kind of felt like if I didn't try it, I would die. Like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
needed that.
Yeah, I
I
know what you
needed
mean.
to feel
Feel alive.
fulfillment.
Yeah, fulfillment. Yeah.
So,
Oh, I definitely know what you mean. Feeling, I was feeling, so this is not about me, it's about you. But the thing is, yes, I've been there, and there's other people that can relate that you feel empty, you feel dead. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, you feel like, what am I doing?
yeah.
Yeah. But we'll get to my part at the end of this interview, and I'll tell you we'll circle around on what I mean by feeling dead. All right.
Sure.
So yes, I'm really happy for you, Asia. It means a lot that you pursued this for yourself and that you accomplished this with yourself to be motivated to say, I want to do this. And even despite I can tell and when you were in the car crying, you're probably get yourself out of it, right? You're like, I don't know if I can. This is like, I don't know. This like, you know what I mean? Like, please. But the thing is, it's those moments of that boundary cross line where you're like, okay, this is where you're at. This is where you could be. What are
Yeah.
you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Because it is fearful in that moment where you're like, oh man, like it's in 30 minutes, I'm gonna be, being presenting myself in front of people, but you cross that line and look where you're at. So good for you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. And so from that point, when you got your first role, what happened after that? How the other doors that were opening up for you, just the journey of, and then I got this role. And no, but like share some of the films you've been in or what's going on.
Yeah. Really, I would probably say the best thing you can do as a filmmaker or a creative is network. So I hadn't done a whole lot of work in general before I had gotten to meet Pedro.
Okay.
So I I was doing like the CMI projects, the Creative Media
I,
Institute,
yeah.
NMFU, and that was one of the best things that could have ever happened to me. I met
Mm,
so many people, and these people are extremely talented. You wouldn't even think that they're students, and even so, I mean, there's so much talent in the students.
mm,
And I had, kind of gotten footage for my reel, met people that were absolutely life-changing and becoming very close friends with.
mhm.
And I was just networking a bunch, and I eventually kind of landed as like a small supporting role on one of Pedro's sets.
Okay.
And this was in 2022, like mid 2022. So it's been a
Okay.
couple of years at this point. And I don't even think I said anything in that scene. I
Um,
might have just been reacting to another actor. And he asked me maybe like a week or two later, like, hey, I'm writing this feature. I would love for you to be in it. And I had no idea, one, I don't even think I understood the concept of what a feature was. I was very green. I had no idea what was going on. And I
okay.
was like, oh, yeah, like whatever. I would love to be a part of whatever you've got going on. And it
Right.
ended up being the female lead of the film.
Oh,
And
cool.
I didn't really know him, and I didn't know how he could think that I could have taken on such a large role.
Right.
Um, and so we started filming that like last year. We ran into some pretty big hiccups, and we picked up again this year.
Mm,
Um, I have my dates wrong, but at some point in time, um, it, we ran into the hiccups at the last film festival, the
okay.
last Las Cruces International Film Festival, and we were wrapped by this past one, which
Oh,
is huge. It was like a 180. We weren't expecting to be able to pull it all together the way that we did,
mm,
and that opened up a crazy amount of doors for me as well because he introduced me to people, I introduced him to people, and people just were really excited about what we were able to do. So yeah, I mean, I've done like commercials, and this would have been Sunset Memories, my second feature,
okay.
and then yeah, lots of just commercials here and there too.
Name the last film that you mentioned. What was it called?
Sunset Memory.
Sunset Memory. Okay.
Yeah.
That was from last year or
We wrapped like end of last year,
oh,
beginning of this year.
okay.
And so it's just in like post the editing phase, which is
Okay.
again all Pedro.
Oh yeah, cool. Well, that's very exciting. See how what I mean? It's and it very true. Networking is very important. So I'm glad that you both were teaming up and doing that and look where it's gotten you both. So that's what I was telling my friends too when you're at Las Cruces International Film Festival or any festival, network. That's what it's about. Getting to know everyone, helping each other out. and it's very important. And I
You were
actually,
so good at that. Everybody knows who you are. Everybody was so excited to get in front of you and to speak with you. So that was
who,
awesome. I mean,
me? Oh,
oh, yes, you.
oh, stop. No,
Yeah, it's an honor. It's an honor.
well, thank you, but I give it a lot to, of course, Ian Cole and Jessica and Jimenez and Ross Marks. They're the core. They're the ones that actually believed in me and brought me on. And well, Ross, of course, was the one that
Yeah.
I did, but Jessica and Jimenez and Ian Cole were the ones that actually opened that door a little, like, hey, we know someone that's a podcaster. We should bring her on.
Wonderful people.
Yeah.
Like genuinely, Jessica is one of the first people that kind of also introduced me to other
Oh,
people.
cool. Very
Like in the
cool.
just took me under her wing. She is an incredible person. I had the privilege of meeting Ian at the
Awesome. Yeah,
film festival. That film festival is life-changing,
it
and
is.
everybody needs to go. I after winning the audience award, I was getting calls and
Really? Wow.
I guess we're in like a database. I'm not super sure. But I was getting calls like from directors and producers. It was just the most exciting thing in the entire world. I had no idea that that was even a possibility.
Wow. That's awesome. I want to do talk about the awards. So if
Sure.
you can remind us, the viewers as well, what did you receive this year at the Los?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. We won the audience award for the 48 hour.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So after that, that's when you were getting calls, like you said, left and right of just,
Like that the next day.
hey.
It was the most exciting, exhilarating thing I've ever experienced in my life because like why are like California area codes calling me? This is so exciting.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Very cool.
Very overwhelming in like the best way. I just was not expecting it at all.
Oh, wow. Any open doors for California?
I I do think so,
Oh,
but I never want to
bring too
be
much in.
presumptuous about it, you know. But either way, it was an honor to even be
Oh, yeah.
cons I never thought 3 years ago that this would be my life, and I've never been more grateful for anything.
It's amazing. I love it. And that's so cool just to see from a point of, like you said, of almost at a port of the point of dying in within to now you're living the impossible. And that's my slogan for Rhythm and Rose is always live the impossible. Do something that's going to scare you because you don't even know that's your greatest purpose on the other side. So awesome. I'm so glad of the good news from the festival. Very cool. So what's next for you? Is there anything in the works right now? Anything coming up with you and Pedro in the works?
Yeah, so that short film that I had met Pedro on, we're actually turning it into a feature this year.
Oh, okay.
It's called Dead End. So we consider that 22 version of it the proof of concept.
Okay.
And I am acting a smaller role, no big deal, but I'm also producing the
Oh,
film, which
that's
is
right.
the best thing ever. I'm so excited. I cannot believe anybody would trust me creatively with this. So uh, that just the fact that people even consider me creative is like I could throw up when I think about it because I'm like,
Throw up, whatever.
I get so excited. I still get very giddy about it. And
Dude,
it is like,
that's funny.
I'm just really excited for that. And then the end of this month, we're shooting a short film called Like a Brother. And
Like a
that will,
brother?
yes,
Okay.
yeah. Um, it's a really cute concept that Pedro put together. This is kind of just like to ramp us up for Dead End.
Okay.
So it's going to be just a whole lot of fun. I
That's
am super,
cool.
and a couple other things here and there, but gosh, the fact that people are even just asking me to be in their projects still like
Of course. You're like,
it still
yes,
gets
yes to
I get
everything.
emotional.
Well, yeah, you deserve it. And you worked hard. You deserve it. So yeah, I mean, I love it. It's just the knowing that from the point of you saying yes to the audition, your first one, it's amazing how life just throws so much blessings your way. You know what I mean? Of just,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just opportunities are endless. So, and also if you guys ever need a background actor, I'm trying to get into there. Just even if you just walk
Chill.
across the
We'll talk
street,
after this. We'll talk after this. I got you.
even if I walk across the street and I'm just a background actor, that's cool.
Extra number one. Number
Sorry?
one. You got it. It'll
Yeah.
be perfect.
Yeah, this is what I've been mentioning to certain filmmakers out there in Las Cruces. Just like, hey, if you ever need someone just to, do a little 1 second scene, just let me know. I'm trying to get
Wow.
into it. So,
Heck yeah.
God, all of a sudden. Oh, all right. That was weird. All right. So let's get into um, we always like to ask every now and then, just getting to know you personally on certain films that in the past, what you really prefer, even right now. So what films do you actually like that have motivated you as an actress as well? Either growing up or just as of right now, like, oh, I remember I saw this film and I just loved it. Like, oh my God, the acting in it. Is there certain films that you like?
I always kind of go back to The Spectacular Now.
Spectacular. No, never heard of it.
It's got like Miles Teller and Shailene Woodley.
Oh, yeah? Oh,
It's I oh my God, it's one of those films that kind of just like pulls you apart, puts you back together.
really? Okay.
Yeah, and I love those kinds of coming of age feelings. So of course, like Perks of Being a Wallflower is on that
Oh,
list.
yeah, I've heard of
Um,
that. Yeah.
they evoke the same type of feelings for me.
Yeah.
And, by the end of it, you've learned something about yourself. You could watch it 100 times and you could feel a different perspective. Not everybody's right, not everybody's wrong.
Mm.
I'm really drawn to stories, to characters, to films where there's no clear right or wrong, because I think that's human. That's humanity.
Yeah.
Nothing's black and white, it's all gray.
Right.
And just depending on how you're going to tip the scale, depending on how you're feeling that day when you consume that content, when you consume that media, you might, relate a little bit harder to the villain or the protagonist or however you want to spin it. And I think that that's a really important lens to approach film, novels, anything with,
Very
because
true. Yeah.
we are we are the sum of our parts. We are different today than we were yesterday and the day before. So it's so important to recognize that there's good in everybody and there's bad in everybody. And I love when that's conveyed in film. So that's very
Oh
important to
yeah,
me.
well said on that. And I've never seen any of those films, but
Okay.
glad those are your choices though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, what about music artists? Is there a certain music artist that you like?
Yeah. So I'm actually in Phoenix right now for a concert.
Oh, you are? Heck yeah.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah. That's like my thing. I go to concerts.
I love concerts.
Grateful to be able to do that and still be able to do this podcast with
Oh
you.
yeah.
But I just saw Mayday Parade.
Oh, you
Um,
did? Oh, heck yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
They threw me a pic and I'm like still emotional about it. I cried really hard. I cried. I think there are
Oh,
videos of me
wow.
sobbing last night. So Mayday Parade, Pierce the Veil. I will be seeing them next month in Albuquerque. Uh,
Nice.
I'm also a really big Swiftie. I love
Oh,
Taylor
that's fine.
so
Taylor
much.
Swift. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, I've
Have you
seen her.
seen her in concert or?
I went to the Eras tour twice.
Oh, wow.
Concerts, absolutely my thing. So I could talk about music forever. Wish I had like any inclination of like musical talent, but I do not. But that's okay.
Interesting. I'm huge on concerts. I love going to concerts. I'm like,
Yes.
because I'm a musician, I also play drums.
Heck
So
yeah.
yeah, so music's also a big part of my life besides film.
Yeah.
But I'm
Okay.
like concerts when I go and see everyone's just energy and feel the energy, everyone's reaction, and just you're just like, dude, that's so cool. You don't even know the person next to you. You're like, yeah.
You can talk to anybody. It's its own community.
Oh
And
yeah.
I get so excited about it. So yes.
That's so cool. Mayday Parade. Is that with something Mullins? Is that the band I'm thinking of? I don't know if it's that band. Who's the lead singer of Mayday Parade? Do you know?
God, I don't know.
Okay, sorry. Because it sounds familiar, but I was like, did I listen to one of their songs? But anyway, one of the bands I really go for right now is Amberlin. You ever heard of Amberlin? I love
Yeah, they sing Unwinding Cable Car.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
of
yeah.
course they
I,
have other good songs that are faster, but
oh,
that's like a slow song. I'm like, well, yeah, it's a good song, but I mean,
that's one I still have like on my playlist.
oh,
Like,
do you?
oh yeah. So that's the one I remember.
And then are you big on the 80s?
No.
No, or 90s? No. Okay, it's
I
fine.
mean, kind of, but not really.
Well,
Not like,
you know that song which you probably do, Don't You Forget About Me?
yeah.
Okay, so the band's actually going to Phoenix the end of this month, and they're called
Ooh,
Simple Minds, and they're from the UK.
yeah.
So they're playing at the Talking Stick uh, Arena. So I'm excited to go to that. That's my concert going.
That's so exciting. I
Yeah,
love
I've seen them
very
before,
excited.
but I love the 80s and 90s. I love all that pop electronic sound.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, Simple Minds are fun. And are you gonna go see Coldplay?
Honestly, I was at work when the pre-sale happened or like
Oh,
when the sale of it happened. I still could go and I'm thinking about, I mean, it's right there. I I don't know. I'm thinking about it.
oh, because that's right. You live in Las Cruces, right?
El Paso.
Oh, El Paso. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's like right there. It's like I don't care. Yeah. Well, I hope you go because yeah, I mean it should be good time.
I love any concert, so yeah, you'll probably see me there.
And so right now you're in Phoenix. So you saw them already, or you
Yeah, played last night.
or they play last night? How was it? Pretty good. Incredible.
Incredible.
Well, I know
I
you got the pick, so that was incredible.
I did get the pick. Thought I got my nose broken, which was not going to be good for any sort
Oh,
of filming. Got elbowed in the mosh pit, but it's fine. It's fine. I'm alive.
wow! You were part of a mosh pit. Look at you, Asia.
Unintentionally, not on
Oh, you
purpose.
know you started it. You're like, all right, guys, let's get in it. Come on, let's create this. Like,
No.
dang, I didn't know she was like that. Who'd you go with? By yourself, friends?
Actually, my best friend Ariel.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So if you heard like some moving around, that was
Yeah.
her.
All right, cool, cool. I'm glad you guys had a good time.
Thank you.
So before we end this episode, and you continue your vacation up there in Phoenix, right?
I'm actually heading back to El Paso right after this.
Oh, okay. Well, safe travels. What do you want to share to those that are in that part of their life of trying to find something that's going to light them up? And just share your experience. What advice can you give those viewers that where they want to pursue film, they want to pursue being an actress, an actor, the next producer, but they're just in that stuck of I don't know what to do, fear, I don't know what people will say about me. So,
I think as somebody who's still actively going through that,
mhm,
because the confidence bit I'm still working on. Sometimes it's more about like blind faith,
mm,
you know, just trying anything, throwing spaghetti at the wall, see what sticks,
mm,
because if acting hadn't worked out for me, I I still was gonna feel that emptiness, I would have had to try something.
right.
So throw yourself into it, and into anything,
Mm,
whether that's writing or reading, even watching films, that in and of itself is something that is exciting and you can talk about it. But
mm,
I think you've got to do what you can with what you have,
mm,
right? So wherever you're at, I didn't know anybody when I was in El Paso. I didn't know that there was a film community. So I looked at whatever resources there were
mm,
and was hoping for the best. So you can do whatever you want to do with wherever you're at. You
mm,
just have to be willing to try. Again, that blind faith, you're not going to be good at it the first time that you try. You're not going to be good at the first 100 times that you try, but
right,
it's like the resilience to keep trying.
right.
And if it piques your interest, it's worth it. It's not silly. It's worth your time and your effort and your energy because nothing, your day job, the thing that pays the bills or whatever, that is important. And nobody's saying that it's not. But
Mhm.
the thing that feeds your soul, that's going to make everything that you do worth it.
Wow. Well
So
said.
go for it, because you're the only thing stopping you.
That's true. Wow. Well said. Very good stuff. Yeah. And that's the thing's very true. So before we end, remember I mentioned I would share that part when I was feeling dead. I was in Albuquerque last year and I was with my ex at the time and so things just but here's one very interesting thing is and this goes for relationships too, I would assume, is that if they're meant for you, you're gonna feel a certain kind of energy of a love of some support that this is where I need to be. If they're not meant for you and there's something in your life that's missing that life is calling you or God or the faith of like tugging you, like, hey, I have something better for you, but you just need to let go. I was in that moment last year in November and I was still doing Rhythm and Rose, but it wasn't as where I was at now. But I remember I was sitting on the couch and I was like really feeling dead. Like I was so empty. I even had some tears come out and I was watching TV because that's not who I was. I wasn't the type to just work, come home, you know, just that podcast every now and then. And but then I was like, I'm not out there doing what I love. I'm not. this is not me. And so the part of where we're getting at is even a month prior to this end of it, I already felt a nudge that, and she felt it too, that this wasn't, we're not meant to be together, but it was just kind of hard to express that.
Yeah.
But the thing is, how life will bring certain feelings and nudges to you to realize that you're like, okay, there's something going on. Why I'm feeling this a lot more than usual. And so one time so this day is where it all happened, where she asked me, "What's wrong?" And I said, "I'm just not happy." And I'm not saying I wasn't happy with her. I'm just not happy where I'm at in my life because this is not who I was prior to moving out here. I was the type to go out and meet people and just, have fun, make little short films with my friend Angel Rodriguez from Rad Rod Films. I was just being out, doing,
Yeah.
living. But in Albuquerque, I was just work, home, dates, concert, little travel here and there. But then that was it. But it was just like, okay. And then, so that point of me expressing that, and we decided that, it was hard, of course, to part. It was like that, the moment, I don't know if you believe God or anything, but for me, I believe that God was saying, okay, let go and watch what I will do. And when I let go, as much as it hurt, of course, because I loved her, then it's like, okay, now here's your calling. And when I came back to El Paso, like you, with as soon as you gave that one chance of that audition, and then you saw so much endless possibilities that just opened up the, doors. That's how it was over here when I came back, and I was still hurting and in pain because I loved her, and but God was like, all right, it's just gonna take you to make the move. So go out there and take action because faith without action, there's no results. So you need to have faith, but take action to see results. So
Okay.
faith is saying, hey, I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm gonna do it. And regardless of what happens, I'm gonna be okay. If I get it, great. If I don't, I'm still gonna be okay. But at least I can say I tried because if I don't try and I'm just back here, I will never know what was on the other side. And that's when I started to say, you know what? I'm gonna just take my faith, go by action now that I'm back. And to tell you the truth, the film festival was my first one ever that I did interviews with. And yes, I wasn't a professional because I'm learning, but I had the greatest experience ever because I did something that I've never done before. And I'm like, thank you, God, that you gave me this opportunity to meet so many incredible, skilled actors and directors and everyone. But I would have never had that if I would have stayed.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's the thing, that there's decisions in life where it's presented to you, where you're like, okay, this is an option and this is an option. What are you going to do? But regardless of what you do, you'll still be okay.
Yeah.
But if you don't do it because of fear, that you're missing out on something that could be a life changer, you know?
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
sometimes we need that. We need those life changers by just jumping at it, man. Just do it. Just, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna risk it and just see what happens and just be on the other side. So anyway, that was my story.
Oh, thank you for sharing. I think that's so important.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah. And it's very important, not just mine, but everyone's story. That's why every story matters because we've all been through that. Everyone has, it may not just be relationships, it could just be, I was at this job for so many years, didn't know anything, I was dead working there, but this opportunity came to me. And then because of fear of letting go of the comfort zone, right? Well, I have my regular, you know, job that I'm secured with,
Right.
to leaving it to go to be an entrepreneur, and now you're a millionaire, great business. You know what I mean? It just takes it takes sometimes that fear to get you out, because that's what it's about, is the challenge, the get out. You know what I mean?
Universal. I think everybody has to go through that. I think
Yeah,
that's where we see the most growth.
it
It's
is.
where people experience who they're going to step into.
Mhm.
I think we're all kind of at that point where you see who you've been, you see the potential of who you could be, and
Yeah,
it's up to you to cross that line.
it is. Yeah. Totally agree. Well, I love this conversation. It was great, Asia. Thank you so much for coming on Rhythm and Roads, sharing, and I'm really happy for you and Pedro. Congratulations on that 48-hour challenge at
Thank
Cruces
you.
International Film Fest. That's so cool. And I'm glad just out of your story, it's going to inspire other people that are going to see this episode. You know what I mean? They're going to be like, cool, if she can do it, I can do it. You know?
Thank you
So,
for saying that.
oh, yeah, yeah. And guys, I really ask if you can please like and subscribe to Rhythm and Roads. It would really support Rhythm and Roads and all the guest stories, and it would mean a lot to me. So thank you so much for your support. But all right, Asia, well, and safe travels back to El Paso and rock on.